The NBA season is in full swing. We are very quickly approaching the 1/3 mark into the season. Multiple teams are now reaching the 20-win mark, yet if you look at the bottom of the standings, we still have 9 teams that have not reached the 10-win mark. These are more than likely going to be our lottery teams here this summer. So let's take a look at the upcoming schedules and make a prediction on who will be the first and the last team to reach the 10-win mark this season. Now, we do have a couple teams that do seem relatively obvious in the Portland Trail Blazers, in the Utah Jazz, because they do have 9 wins. Looking at the Utah Jazz schedule first, they have the Dallas Mavericks, which is a relatively winnable game at 10-16, but then you have the Los Angeles Lakers, the Orlando Magic, and the Denver Nuggets after that. And then after that game, you have the Memphis Grizzlies. So I think they have 2 legitimate chances in the next 5 games to get their 10th win. And again, I'm not saying that there isn't any upsets possible in some of these other games, but LA is going to be a tough one. The Magic will be a tough one, and the Nuggets will for sure be a tough one. I think this is because they are so close, one of the teams in the running to be the first one to 10 wins of this group, but they don't have the most friendly of schedules. On the flip side, you have the Portland Trail Blazers, who play Golden State and then have Sacramento twice. I would be very surprised if they lose both those games to the Sacramento Kings, considering they'll be on this list very shortly here. I think, again, with 2 teams already at 9 wins, it's going to be one of these 2 teams that is the first of this group to 10 wins. I think it will be the Portland Trail Blazers because they have those 2 back-to-back games against the Sacramento Kings on the 18th and the 20th. Going down the list, we have the 7-18 Charlotte Hornets, who have the Cleveland Cavaliers coming up, then the Atlanta Hawks, then the Detroit Pistons, and then the Cleveland Cavaliers again before they finally face Washington. I think they're staring at 4 more losses in a row, and Washington is another team on this list. That, if they get that one, gets them to 8. I think this team, even though they are at 7 and they are 3rd in this group in terms of current wins, I don't see them being anywhere close to 10 wins because of this schedule. I mean, they have a gauntlet where we're looking at Milwaukee or Orlando, even potentially Chicago, a week and a half down the road being possible wins that aren't major upsets. Again, anything can happen with a game against Cleveland, Detroit, Atlanta, one of those games. They could steal that game, but I just don't see it in the cards. I don't think this is a team that's relatively close whatsoever to getting to 10 wins just because of their upcoming schedule, despite being at 7 wins. When you compare that to a team like the Indiana Pacers, who are sitting at 6-19, they have the Washington Wizards coming up, very winnable game. They have the Knicks, which will probably be a loss, but then they do have the Pelicans, which again, very winnable game. That's another team on this list. The Boston Celtics are starting to turn it up. That's going to be a tough one, but the Bucks should be relatively competitive. You have Boston again, you have Miami again, Houston, etc., etc. There are some wins there to get them very close. Again, they do get some of those mid to top tier Eastern Conference teams coming up. So if they can steal a win potentially against Boston, maybe at home, and against Miami, maybe on the road, that could get them to 10. I think comparing them to the last team we saw, the Charlotte Hornets, they do have a relatively good chance. I would say they probably have the 3rd or 4th best chance, but I think there are teams that have better chances to get to 10 before them. As for the Brooklyn Nets, they have Milwaukee, Miami, and then the Toronto Raptors as their next 3 games. Looking even farther down the list, I don't see a win for them anytime soon until potentially Washington on the 2nd. Sitting at 6-18, again, this is a team that I don't really think is going to get 10 wins anytime soon, and this is going to be a team that we track as one of the last teams to get to 10 wins this season. The Los Angeles Clippers at 6-19. This is one of the teams that I thought was actually going to be very competitive this year, so I'm pretty disappointed on how low they are in the standings and how slow their start has been, especially when you think about that the OKC Thunder also have their pick. I think as NBA fans, we need the Clippers to start winning basketball games. They have the Memphis Grizzlies. I think that is a game that they potentially could take care of. Then you have OKC, Los Angeles, Houston, Portland, Detroit. I mean, maybe Portland, maybe, I don't even see anything else there they could maybe squeeze by. They do have the Kings and the Jazz after Detroit. So, I mean, we're looking 2 weeks out, maybe even 2.5 weeks out before they reach 10 wins, which is not good for the NBA because, again, OKC has their pick. We need the Clippers to figure it out and start winning some basketball games, but with this upcoming schedule, I just don't see it. The Kings have Minnesota and then 2 games back-to-back against Portland, like we mentioned earlier. Then they have the Houston Rockets, the Detroit Pistons, and the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, I don't necessarily see a win in there. I do know they have beaten my Wolves already this year, so anything is possible there. But sitting at 6-19, they are still a ways out from getting to that 10-win mark. Again, I think this is a team that's towards the bottom in terms of chances to be the first to 10 wins. Now we get into some fun ones in terms of the teams I think are in the running to be the last team to 10 wins. It is between the New Orleans Pelicans and the Washington Wizards. Now the Pelicans have the Bulls, they have the Rockets, they have the Pacers, then they have Dallas, Cleveland, then 2 games against Phoenix. I think there are some games that if things go right, there are some wins that are there. They're not completely out of, like, I wouldn't give them a chance against Houston or Cleveland. However, I would give them a chance against potentially Dallas, potentially Indiana. However, I'm not putting any stake in any of those games. I don't necessarily see it. I would love to see them turn it up. Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears are clearly the future, but it's just not going to happen this year. I don't see them being competitive anytime soon. I think they won't be the last team to 10 wins. However, I think it's going to take them a while. I think that the Washington Wizards, no surprise, will be the last team to 10 wins. I mean, you look at this schedule: Indiana, San Antonio, Memphis, San Antonio, Charlotte, Toronto. Things could break their way. However, 2 games against San Antonio, I wouldn't give them a chance. Game against Toronto, I wouldn't give them a chance. They have a decent schedule, but to go out and say, yeah, I think the Wizards are going to win these games consistently feels very risky. I really love this team going into the offseason. This was a team that I was very high on, as I will mention in a video soon that I am working on. This is a team that I was very excited about, and it has just not worked out. And at 3-20, I don't think it's going to get any better anytime soon. I think we are looking at the Washington Wizards as the last team to get to 10 wins. And again, I think the Portland Trail Blazers within the week should be at the 10-win mark. And it's very interesting that even a third of the way through the season, we still have about a third of the league without 10 wins. It just kind of shows how dominant some of these top teams have been, that there are a lot of teams that are nowhere near even 500 towards the bottom of these standings. But again, I mean, we have some teams at the top that I'm sure we're all aware of that are in the 90% win percentage, 80% win percentages, even the high 70s. And on the flip side of that, you're going to get teams in the 10% of win percentages, because that's just how math works. What are your thoughts on all of these teams? Who do you see winning their 10th game the quickest and the last? And when do you think the last team will get their 10th win? Do you think it happens in January? Do you think it happens in February? Do we get all the way to March with a team with less than 10 wins? I would love to see your input down in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching. I'm out. Peace.